Before I start, I just want to pray to our tech overlords. Dear Master Google, son of Alphabet, I am not meaning to cause offense with this video. I am merely commenting on a matter that is in the public light at present. Please have mercy on me for this. Facebook, I couldn't care what you think. Amen. Hi again guys, welcome back. So here in my native Australia, there is a bit of a battle raging between two big tech players, particularly in Facebook and Google, aka Alphabet, who are finding themselves pitted against the Australian government, which is being widely backed by the Australian media as well as opposition parliamentarians. The issue at hand is that Australia is on course to pass laws that would make tech giants negotiate payments with local publishers and broadcasters for content included in search results or news feeds. And if the parties cannot strike a deal, then a government-appointed arbitrator will decide the price. The legislation is designed to address the constantly shrinking revenues of traditional print media sources, who have lost approximately 75% of their advertising revenue since 2005. And to add further perspective to this, the big tech companies from outside of Australia receive approximately 81% of all online advertising spent in Australia. Google and Facebook both oppose the changes in their current format. They acknowledge that there needs to be compensation, but they believe the current framework which the government is looking at passing is untenable and will materially hurt the big tech companies as well as small media organisations here in Australia. Adding a bit of heat to the conflict, yesterday Google Australia's director Mel Silver, while in attendance at the legislation committee, put forward strong comments about the matter. She said that the Google search engine may become unavailable or severely limited in Australia as the current legislation would make it untenable to continue operations affecting approximately 19 million users. Google's comments drew a rebuke from the Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, or as we affectionately call him here in Australia, Scomo, who responded by saying, if you want to do business in Australia, you have to follow Australia's rules and that the government would not respond to threats. This is quite an intriguing battle as it is an issue that many media companies around the world have been grappling with for some time now. Just recently, Google did reach a deal with French news publishers to pay $1.3 billion over 3 years to support the industry and maintain the relationship as it is. I feel like a deal like this could be reached in Australia. However, you would have to believe that Google and Facebook will be the parties negotiating from a position of strength. What happens in Australia is quite interesting and grabbing a lot of attention globally, as it may set a precedent for how social media companies can operate in this regard in other jurisdictions. Interestingly, the United States government this week asked Australia to scrap the proposed laws, which have broad political support, and suggested Australia should pursue a voluntary code instead. However, to quote Scomo again, it is our country and you need to follow our rules. Alphabet is a hugely successful company and has strong ties to Australia. They earn $4.8 billion annually from their operations in Australia, much of which comes from advertising, and it is also where the much-loved Google Maps was developed and is currently maintained. However, this threatening behaviour is not doing it any favours for winning over local support. Big tech is already getting a lot of heat from consumers following their recent behaviour, so acting a bit like a spoiled child who isn't getting their way in this process is not doing the industry many favours. However, the capitalist media respects the company's ability to outcompete and win the market in the way they did. Google got to this position of dominance because they took risks where others wouldn't. Larger and more established media companies had their opportunity but were either too sluggish or greedy to capitalise on the changes. Many of these organisations include Australian media. Also, I do hold stock in Alphabet, so I'm kind of quite interested in what is happening here. Ideally, the content producers at these media organisations will start to receive a fair amount of advertising compensation, and this will slightly rebalance the control of information, which is very heavily skewed towards the big tech players such as Google and Facebook. What do you guys think? Should big tech be paying media companies a larger share of advertising revenue? Is Google right to threaten the Australian government, or should we just let capitalism do its thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm trying to get content out daily and I would love your support to help grow this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Cheers.